Hello, divine, blessed beings of the light. You're here today with another Journey Now video. This is Heidi speaking, and as you can see already, within the lens here, we have a beautiful, beautiful light-coded activation drawing done by Amber. And this particular drawing is created in order to activate a return to your own organic nature and a return to organic nature of the planet and of the divine rays. And so we had spoke a little bit about the rays at the last video on a few days ago. And my guides are having me put this activation out because what they're really wanting to say today is how very important understanding of the light rays are. And I don't profess myself to know everything there is to know about rays because it is a very, very in-depth and so rather than call it complicated, they choose the word intelligent. It is a very intelligent endeavor, they say, to examine and go into the universal ray spectrums. And so they don't want to get too elaborate and detailed right now with the rays. However, this is a step up from the last video in that we are going to speak more on the rays and the return to the organic nature, which really does mean returning to our own organic nature or our own personal ray or light spectrum that resides within the core of our own intelligence. And in another way that we could describe that, they say, is that we are returning to our birth ray. So we have again with us today Archangel Michael. And then we also have Saint Germain because we are dealing with my own particular rays. And so I do often gravitate to work within that ray spectrum because it is one that I myself can feed the light code within my own core outwards. Okay, so they say in an elevated way, because when you touch into your organic coding and you share it with others, that is the purest form of light-coded activation that we can deliver as light workers and light beings. So what Saint Germain is saying right now, and he always does come with his twin, Portia, and so they are here today. And so we have our triad. Basically, we have the three beautiful energies with us. And we are using the blue ray and the violet ray spectrum. And so when we're talking about the rays and we have a particular color that we're gravitating towards, and as we begin to understand why, we understand that those colors and those particular codes are really our soul calling and directing us towards our own individual truth or ray to be delivered. So they want us to fully understand that when you are of a particular ray or color, we don't just have a purple ray, we don't just have a blue ray. It will actually encompass so many hues and variations of that color, because there is, in fact, they say, an unlimited spectrum that is divine. And so when we come to the planet, so they want to call it before now, so they want me to put out that we could call it the end times or the beginning times, and it is the exact same thing here. So when we are dealing with particular times like we are in, we are actually sitting on this planet in a brand new state of existence in which, so the Ascension itself, they say, is actually about bringing in a fuller spectrum to the planet of the particular rays. So, for example, when we are dealing with the blue ray and the violet ray, we really have to understand that we are playing around with all the shades of blue. And when we are dealing with the violet, we are playing with all the variations of purple. And they range from, so this is like being an artist. And then they say this is my personal favorite palette to play with. When we were talking about colors, because I'm an artist and that is what I do. I play with colors, I play with textures and creating variations of color pattern. So we can take all of the variations from those colors, and within each variation, there becomes a different frequency. So each color is going to hold multiple, and unlimited is what they're saying, variations of frequencies, vibrations. And within the variations, we are going to be allowed to access new to us and higher and more of the divine spectrum within ourselves right now because of the times. And so the call, so Saint Germain is actually calling it that. It is a call to your personal right. It is a call to your personal gift. And so when we talk about bringing in your own true nature, your organic nature, or in other words for today's video, our own organic ray spectrums, we are becoming in tune, and we are becoming whole, and we are becoming more united within the complete spectrum of the higher dimensional frequencies, being 4D, 5D, 6D. It goes up, you guys. It goes way, way up. And in fact, there is infinite and unlimited levels. And they say we will begin to understand that as we progress within our own vibratory fields. So the call right now to the light workers, which they're asking me to put out, is to reunite with your personal ray so that you can become capable of activating more and more of your particular coding, your particular blueprinting, and as we had spoken about before, that whole part of your physical and multi-layered personification or body templates or physical avatar, the whole essence of you put together into the total package of your personal light. Once you become able to more connect with the higher frequencies, the 5D frequencies, you will be activating within your dormant DNA. And so this is what we're trying to do within the Ascension, is we all have this package. It's like a unwrapped box, they say, housing our divine templates. And what do I mean when I say housing our divine templates? So Michael wants to step in, and he's blasting with blue light right now because truth. He wants the spoken word that is being delivered through my throat chakra, and he works quite often with the throat chakra, being that it is blue and it is truth. And there is nothing more beautiful and divine and gifted than your own truth. So if we're going to start talking and bringing in activations for our own sacred truths and our own return to organic nature, then we must open the throat chakra so that we can activate more wisdom about the subject. So what he wants me to explain is that even if what I am saying to you is not clear at this present time, the activations today and the coding that will be coming through, because we do have a multifaceted level of activating. So when we deal with the light code and the activating frequencies of the planet and of the universe and of our guides and of ourselves, we are returning always, always, always to our soul yearning for truth. So he's here right now. He's really activating this field so that we can receive the highest benefit and the highest available. So it's available because we can only take in what our dormant DNA cells are ready to extract from the universal spectrum in these higher frequencies. If we were to go from a closed off cell, I'm just going to use the word cell because then we have an understanding or a mental picture. We take a closed off cell that is been dormant for so long, and then we overfeed it. We are going to create such a high friction, such a high electrical current within ourselves that it would not even be possible for us to survive it. So we become within ourselves and throughout the ascension acclimated. And that is what ascension is. It is an acclamation of all the parts of you into the capabilities of holding and maintaining the higher frequencies. So he says what happens throughout ascension, and as we are moving up frequency and moving up vibratorial towards our higher state of existence, we are taking in a little bit at a time. And it is acclimating in our bodies and in our structures in ways in which it can best serve us and be used. And so this is why Michael says it really is no matter of what level anyone else's playing field is, because we simply could not take in the same light as another being and compare ourselves that way, because our dormant DNA cells are only going to take in, are only capable, and that is a good and beautiful gift that we have been given, because that is work that we do with our guides, is personal acclamation. And so they really watch over us and they help us. They awaken us, and then we go through phases where we become completely 3D and dense again. And this is the roller coaster, as they would call it, of ascension. So you take in the frequency as much as in your own particular case is required or acceptable. And then your body shuts down and it processes. And so whatever you have taken in that is required by your own self is a process of elimination or a process of filtration. So that new frequency is stirring within you, opening up the eyes or the consciousness, because each cell, like you, is its own being, its own consciousness that is capable of communication. So as these cells are basically rebirthing, it's like coming out of a coma. Each cell has its own mission and its own amount of frequency and its own particular vibration and its own color shading that it can absorb. And so the light bursts that we take in when we watch videos like these, and we take in light coding from other beings and ourselves and from nature and the environment and our guides, that light code will filtrate in your own system, and it will move through your body where particular frequencies and shades are going to different cells within you that require that exact match. So we shut down, the body filtrates, processes, moves this all through ourselves. And then the cells that have absorbed the required amount amount of energy that they were actually seeking and being gifted with during that time, it's like the farmer seeding and harvesting. So you could call it, at that moment, the particular cell is light coated with newer and higher vibration. It is the seeding. And then we wait for the growth. And that is the down phase. And I hope that kind of makes you guys feel better about the down phases, because I know that's really served me beneficially in my own ascension, because as we are ascending and we're reaching the higher frequencies of emotion and feelings, and we are becoming aware of the higher feelings, the higher emotions, we are feeling things that we haven't felt before. We are feeling a range and depth of emotion almost identical to the description of the variations in the color spectrum. So as we have been currently serving out Earth's, our Earth time, or our incarnations here in our physical forms, we have been walking on Gaia in a boxed in or caged in or shielded manner in which the higher frequencies, they weren't coming because we were not in that point of ascension in a manner in which those high codes. And when I'm talking about the high codes, I mean, I'm talking about diamond light. We are talking about the Christ consciousness. These are light filtrations that we haven't seen, we haven't felt or experienced. And within these, we are gifted new feelings, new emotions, and new expressions and experiences that go with those feelings. So we become elated. We become high on ourselves in those moments, and it can feel quite intense, on top of the world, like we've won the lottery. There's so many ways to explain those feelings. Those feelings when you hit an alignment that causes goosebumps and rushes of energy to just go up and down your body. Well, that is light code activating cells within you. So before, we were only capable of the 3D and the denser ones. Well, Ascension is giving us an entirely new bag of tricks. That's what they're calling it, an entirely new bag of tricks to play with. That's what we've been asking for, and that's what we are getting and giving and receiving. That's who we are. So us as way showers, light workers, the reason we call ourselves that and the reason we are these things is that we did come here already holding these high frequencies, and we committed to, we invested and made it our own missions to share higher frequencies on the planet so that we could have a union or a unified field of light workers holding the higher spectrum in 3D. This is what is collapsing paradigms. This is what is causing right now the collapse of all that we see in the media. It is actually a rush of higher energy and frequencies that is being blasted onto us, blasted onto the planet. And we are being asked now to fine tune and work with the new frequencies. So even if you don't know your particular ray yet, even if you don't know anything about rays, the description and this video is very building blocks. And so it is quite easy to take some type of understanding from what I am saying here and build the building blocks, you guys. We really need to start paying attention to our own vibrations and what we align with, and focusing and asking our guides the questions of, how can I serve my ray? How can I serve my mission? Because those two things are intertwined. So now, us as light workers bringing in the higher frequencies, we're going to feel so happy. But then when we fall out of them, it feels worse than before, because before we had a more dense background and it was more readily, or an easier adjustment is what they want to say, to smaller amounts of light. Well, we're right in it. It's like honest now. I don't know. I mean, there's so many videos out there and there's so many ideas of this whole event and the 2020 event. And honestly, you guys, some of us are in it already. Some of us have been in it for some time. It is irrelevant of the when and the how, because the event is bringing the new rays in. It is honoring the ray within you. It is becoming. And so that is already. And so we cannot say that we are still waiting. So what they're telling us is we aren't waiting anymore. Now the job is to bring in and hold our own ray and our own vibration so that we can reach for the stars, reach for your higher color variations. Really push yourself here, you guys. And so when we go through the falls, as we are acclimating to our new light codes and frequencies from solar activations and the unified field, and it's everything you want to call it. It's balancing the yin and yang. It's uniting within your twin flame unions or reunions. All of those things apply. That is what you are doing. So as we become more and more capable, we have less falls. And not only that, they don't feel as bad. So if you're having particular falls right now that are heavy and they are causing you disruption and upheavals and they feel very, very bad, please do take this as the light at the end of the tunnel. That quite frequently means you are doing an incredibly good job. So it sounds so weird when you say that. It's like the worse you feel, the better you're doing. And that's not necessarily the right way to say it. It's just simply saying that right now, if you are a particular being who is suffering immensely, you are undergoing a wonderful transition. And so if you can remind yourself of that, and you can remind yourself of this video and what we're talking about, you will become more capable of understanding that your body is increasing its vibration. It is acclimating to something new that you have achieved so that you can actually walk in a new timeline. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Every single thing that we see in the media, every single thing that looks terrible, and this is the beauty of this video, you guys, and please, if it ruffles you wrong, know that it isn't meant to ruffle you wrong. It's ruffling you wrong because there's something within you that needs coding for a particular word that might have triggered you or subject that is coming out from my throat chakra with activation. So if we talk about, what's going on right now within the planet and the social media, and we see all of these things shifting and coming up, we talked about the cauldron, right? The stirring of the pot. Well, this is Gaia's pot stirring as well. The stirring is the dislodging and release. And so until we stir it and see it in our faces, and it's very uncomfortable, it doesn't leave. It's not within our awareness spectrum. So in the social media aspects in the news, and it's all such terror right now, with the COVID, with the fires, with all of these natural disasters, with all of these children, that is coming up heavily right now. The sex trades, the buying and selling, and the human trafficking. These things are coming up as they are supposed to be rid of. And so we see them and we get so alarmed and we shut down and we grieve and we cry out in pain. We need to honor those feelings. Those are 3D feelings. Those are dense feelings that have a ton of dark, a ton of black. However, if we don't look at them for what they are, and then accept and allow new frequency and new coding to replace, because that's what's happening. They come up because they're being replaced with higher and more beautiful, more radiant, more light-filled particles, what we're seeing is the collapse. But by seeing the collapse, those targeted collapses are what is shifting. So if we could spend some time as well as grieving the things we see, if we could spend time to look at them and say thank you for bringing them to the light, we would be serving the light in such a way that it would make magnanimous amounts of movement within the planet. So it's okay to see both sides of the spectrum as long as you are aware that there's always both sides, and don't judge. And so that is where we are working as a human race. That is where we are working on Gaia, is to become non-judgmental and to fully understand that without black, there is no white. You cannot have one without the other. So we have to look at and appreciate before we can bring in and create better playing fields for everyone. And that's our intention. We want everyone to benefit today from this gift. So really focus as we do our activations. Really heart center yourself individually, or connect to Gaia and do it collectively. I mean, doing this right now, it is collective already in the Journey Now Collective and beyond. Any of the collectives you personally belong to, or you wouldn't be here, you're bringing in other collectives. We are serving as a unified field. So sit here and take personal, intentional movement within yourself to really sit on what I've said, digest it, and then ask your body, ask your soul, ask your guides to fully allow integration, filtration, acclamation of your own rays, of your own divine natures, so that we can begin to play with higher and higher and higher frequencies. You wouldn't be watching this video today if you yourself were not capable of holding and sharing right now with the planet your higher frequencies. You have them. They're gorgeous. Let's share them together, shall we? So keep looking. We have our activation from Amber. It is a return again to organic nature. Now with this being that I am a blue ray, so I'm working with my particular rays. I do always carry, this is my personal, I actually do view this as my own high heart, and it's blue. Lots of high heart colors are going to range because the heart chakra is green. In reality is actually greens, aquas, teals, breaching into blues. It also is holding beautiful rose tones. And of course now Kuan Yin is coming in. I knew she was going to come in today. I knew it because she told me. So Kuan Yin is talking now again about the heart space and the rose colored shades, and that is her particular ray as well. So now we understand how many colors we are dealing with here, and how much beauty we are going to be receiving by divine nature today within this video. So we've got multiple forms of light code. We have our visual, and then we have our light coding, which is coming from our beautiful crystals, because each crystal is its own essence, its own vibration, its own soul. So we've got the light coding from the stones, and then we also have this beautiful creation, which was actually created by myself and Amber and our mother. This is one of our candles that we do make, and they are all light coated, and they are organic, completely organic, and they are, you want to call it a Reiki candle, you want to call it an intentional candle. These are powerhouse candles filled with light-coded activations for you. And then you can see we have the beautiful variations again, and how wonderful, because you can see we have the blues and the purples, and we've got the teals and the aquas, and you know, we're really working with all of those shades here. So we're going to light this candle. I do burn a lot of candles. I really love them. They serve me very well, and I totally enjoy what I receive from lighting these candles. So here we go, and then along with that, we are going to be including the hand mandra activations, which is my own particular way of expressing my divine nature. That is my light language and my light code to give. So we have a ton to give out today. So here we go, and I am, by choice, using a black lighter today because we are making reference. I really want you guys to understand that black is not a bad color. It so often gets labeled as a negative, a dense, and a bad thing. And although it has a lower vibratorial field, we cannot create anything without it. So in a way, you say, there is no creation without the dark. There is no light. And so we don't judge ever, ever. We never judge. So we're going to light our beautiful candle now, and then we're going to get moving on the activations. And you can sit back. You can play this video anytime you like. You can return and revisit it. You can simply play it in a room or a space if you would like to share any of the light coding from it. And one of my favorites is, two of my favorites, because now they're not letting me exclude one over the other, is I will often play these activations for my pets and Gaia herself. And so we can actually do all of our personal work, but we can make it an intention to share our personal work with and through, for and from Gaia as well. And that is going to cause huge shifts for us as it causes huge shifts for her as well. Okay, guys? And do write in if you know your particular ray. If you have any questions at all, please write in. Tell us anything you feel like sharing today, or simply sit back and relax and absorb. Let me know what types of upheavals do you see within yourself after the video, and anything at all that comes up for you. Please feel free to share. This is a free space, and everything that you have to share is 100% valid and beautiful. So thank you in advance for sharing. Okay, guys, here we go. I will tell you my tongue is a little weird because I am trying to become attuned with my own verbal light language. It's something I've struggled with for 2 years already. And I don't know if there's a twin connection in that Amber does that. And so I do another type of light coding, and then we will both do both. I don't know. I just know I am told I will also speak it, and I can feel my tongue. It wants to so badly. So I know that within me, my own activations are right now receiving code to help and encourage my own light language verbally. So we all receive what we need. So here we go, hand mandras. Powerful, powerful stuff. They come directly from the heart, you guys, the hand mandras. It's a beautiful form of language, and it dates back really since the dawn of time here. Many of the ancient masters and many of the ancient wisdoms are carried through. We can actually go back and find many people who have expressed light language within the hand mandras, because you're moving and manipulating air and energy. So that's what it is. And when you get to do that with your own two hands, which we create from, so think about what a hand is. Your hand allows you to create, like the creator light. So hands are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous tools that we have been gifted. And so if there's any of you watching this, does anyone else do these hand mandras? Does anyone have anything to share? Again, something lovely we can put within the comments. So right now we're just sweeping sweeping in whatever light coding that we can. It's like, bring it, bring it, bring it. We want more, we want more. Take as much as you can. I mean, if you think about it, even when we are, so Amber, when she's doing these drawings, it's her hand. You know, her hand, when you're doing paintings, it's your hands. So hands are the center of creation within our physical forms. And anytime we create, we are in the likeness of the creator. So it's one of the greatest things we can do is create anything. Whatever it is that you feel like creating, you are honoring creator light within. So let's bring this into our hearts and our throats right now. That's what we're doing. Take a deep breath. Breathe in and out as you feel. I don't even like to instruct people when and how to breathe, because what I find is your body does it naturally as it is required. But if you have a particular breath work that you practice, by all means. So breathe as you want and really digest this within your heart and throat chakras. It's almost like, so a lot of times I really refer to it as like being a spider. I feel like I'm weaving webs of light with my hands, piecing patterns together, because that is what's going on here. In case you guys didn't realize, if you actually watch, we're piecing strings of light. We're basically geometrically alchemizing energy. So I like to view it as true Merlin style light code. It makes me feel like a wizard. Let's just say it that way. I'm sure that we have all felt, you know, the awe of the wizard. It's such a beautiful, beautiful concept to me to be able to create within our own alchemical capabilities. So now they're asking me to just bring your attention to the multiple eyes within this beautiful drawing. You see that one, and there's one there. They are everywhere. These drawings, sorry, now they're just making me talk about these drawings are extraordinary, absolutely exquisite is what Michael is telling me. Yeah, he's just saying very talented. So he's complimenting Amber, and she deserves it. She really does. I've never seen anything quite like her drawings, and I've seen quite a few, but she's very talented. And so let's take what we can from her, because this is a perfected mastery. That's what they're telling me. This is a perfected mastery here. Great. Okay, guys, I don't want to get the video too long, but it is lengthy enough because there is a multitude of information and then so much frequency to absorb. Please, you guys, play this as often as you need, and like and share if you think there is someone who could use some of this to reactivate dormant cells within them. See you next time. Love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful, beautiful, radiant day. Love you. Bye.